Tonight, wildfire danger reignites.
We are following 16 fires that are near communities or have the potential to impact communities.
Why the situation has taken a turn for the worse after weeks of relative calm. Also tonight,
our goal is always to move folks into housing, but that requires having the available housing needed.
Why there's some controversy over the city's pick to provide outreach services to those experiencing homelessness. Plus, vacation destinations. Which countries are getting a little bit closer thanks to new direct flights?
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Dow. Marilee is away. After weeks of steady improvement, the wildfire situation is once again deteriorating in northern Manitoba, prompting evacuation orders, warnings, and a state of emergency. Let's bring in CTV's John Hendricks, who is standing by live to break it all down for us. So, John, let's start with the evacuations. What's the latest there?
Catherine, the northern community of Leaf Rapids is the latest to announce a mandatory evacuation order. Now that means all 350 residents have until 10 tomorrow morning to leave. Leaf Rapids is about 900 kilometers north of Winnipeg. The fire is roughly 14 kilometers southwest of the community. And a fire burning near Thompson has prompted that city to declare a local state of emergency and tell its 13,000 residents to be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. That fire is about 15 kilometers north of the city and has grown to 60 square kilometers. But officials say the city is not in danger for now.
At the moment, the community is not at risk, but just like the town, the city of Thompson is planning, just like the province plans, it's important for individuals to plan too and have go bags and that sort of thing ready should it be needed. Manitoba is actively planning and looking at accommodation supports that would be available should portions of Thompson or the city have to evacuate.
What's more certain is that wildfires are now roaring back. There are currently 81 active wildfires, which is a big jump from 64 only 3 days ago. Officials say 16 of those are or have the potential to impact communities. They say lightning is responsible for the dramatic upswings in fire activity.
When numbers were really escalating, we were seeing over 25 new fires every 24-hour period popping up. So I think, as we've mentioned before here, when lightning strikes, it can take 3 to 5 days, sometimes even longer, for that smoke to pop up. So that's what we're dealing with now, is a lot of starts from lightning and more forecasted on the horizon, unfortunately.
Officials say that there have been so far 235 wildfires in Manitoba this season. That's well ahead of the 20-year average of 187.
So, John, aside from Leaf Rapids tomorrow and possibly Thompson, what other areas are currently under evacuation orders?
Catherine, there are 6 others, mostly scattered throughout northern Manitoba. Lynn Lake, the Wallace Cottage Association, Marcel Colombe First Nation, Matthias Colombe First Nation, parts of Nopaming, and Tatasqueyak Cree Nation. That totals around 6,600 people. The province also confirmed 7 homes were destroyed in Tatasqueyak over the weekend.
It's unfortunate news. All right, thanks for this, John. Some residents, meanwhile, are being evacuated for a second time, while for others, it's a new unknown. CTV's Harrison Shin spoke to one Leaf Rapids woman fleeing the fires.
This Winnipeg Community Center was filled with rain Monday morning. By Tuesday, it will be filled with people getting out of harm's way. The town of Leaf Rapids is now under a mandatory evacuation order due to wildfires. Liz Cherrier lives there and says she isn't surprised.
We've known that this was a potential for the last few days, so I think everybody's pretty much been ready to go if we have to, but it's still stressful because we don't know.
The big question for Leaf Rapids' 350 residents is, what now?
We don't know. What is it like for us when we get there? Are the accommodations there for us? And Also, a lot of our people here don't have vehicles.
She and others are headed for Winnipeg, and they have to be out by 10 a.m. Tuesday. And 576 residents from the town of Lynn Lake are evacuating to Brandon because of a new fire. And it's the second time they've had to flee in just over a month.
This fire that we're dealing with right now, fire number 42, is a new start that happened I think 5 days ago.
This time around, things went smoother.
I advocated very hard with the province this time to get flights out of the community. They went straight to Brandon.
In this thickening situation, Sharia says that remembering this important principle will help everyone.
I think the biggest thing right now is we all really need to help look out for one another. And if you can help someone, because we're all facing a hard time right now.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Main Street Project has been given a city contract to provide outreach services to people struggling with homelessness, including those living in encampments. This after the social agency was questioned just weeks ago about setting up a new encampment against the province's plan to clear them away and house people. The agreement is worth $275,000 for the rest of the year. CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So Jeff, how did Main Street Project land this deal?
The city says Main Street Project scored highest during the evaluation process, and the mayor says he now believes that Main Street Project has a clear understanding of what's expected. The city has awarded Main Street Project an exclusive agreement to do outreach work, including helping people in encampments find housing.
It's a testament to the great work our folks do every day.
Main Street Project is receiving $275,000 to the end of the year, with the possibility of 2 one-year extensions. A city spokesperson says MSP's submission scored the highest during an evaluation process. The work includes 24-hour mobile outreach services to people who are unsheltered, with the focus on rapidly transitioning people from encampments to housing.
Our outreach is citywide, so we're in every ward of the city. We're supporting people all over the place, so everything from work on folks who are homeless on the street, living in encampments.
The contract is being awarded to Main Street Project despite criticism in May. They helped re-establish an encampment in Point Douglas against the province's strategy to dismantle the camps, but it appears things have changed.
There's a clear understanding, I believe now, by Main Street Project that we don't want to see them doing that.
Main Street Project Executive Director Jamil Mahmood says staff moved the individuals from one encampment to another temporarily over safety concerns, adding there was no housing available at the time. Mahmood says they've now been told there is provincial funding to put people in temporary shelters, like hotels if need be.
We don't want to see encampments as much as anybody else, so our goal is always to move folks into housing.
The city was giving the outreach money to 3 agencies over the last 3 years: Main Street Project, Resource Assistance for Youth, or RAY, and St. Boniface Street Links. Under this deal, RAY will get some money as a subcontractor to focus on youth, leaving Street Links without $118,000 in annual funding.
There hasn't really been given any thought to what the impacts will be to all of Eastern Winnipeg and also to all those other neighborhoods.
Mayor Scott Gillingham says St. Boniface Street Links will still receive $250,000 in annual funding for 24/7 safe spaces until 2027 and the use of a building on St. Mary's Road for operations.
Now, Jeff, what is the province saying about the contract being awarded to Main Street Project?
Homelessness and Addictions Minister Bernadette Smith sent a statement to us saying she's excited to continue working with Main Street Project to move people from tents into housing.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Police have a suspect in custody in connection to an assault at the Forks last month. Police previously said the 30-year-old male victim was attacked at random, and the beating continued even after he lost consciousness. The force says officers went to an apartment on Jefferson Avenue early Sunday morning to search for the suspect. They say he jumped from a 3rd-story window to avoid police, but they eventually caught up with him. The 33-year-old male suspect, who is also wanted on a Canada-wide warrant, is facing several charges. If sloths, monkeys, and toucans are on your wildlife bucket list, you're in luck. WestJet has announced the first ever non-stop flight from Winnipeg to Costa Rica.
I am an alluring concentration of beauty, rainforests, beaches, and biodiversity.
The popular sun destination boasts wildlife, waterfalls, and beautiful beaches. WestJet will begin flying nonstop from Winnipeg to Liberia on the Pacific side of Costa Rica. The flights will be once a week starting December 19th. The airline also announced its other destinations for the 2025-26 season, including the Caribbean and the U.S., and more flights to Cancun and Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The Mexico flights begin in late October. CTV weather specialist Daniel Homerson joins us now live. Excuse me, I'm on autopilot. I got to say, it was a beautiful weekend, Daniel, but a bit of a rough, rude awakening to the week with all this rain that we've been experiencing. What have we got tonight?
Yeah, absolutely, Catherine. It was a beautiful weekend, and I hope a lot of folks took advantage of it. But yeah, today, rain kind of started late morning and throughout most of the afternoon here in Winnipeg. It's actually a system that moved from the west throughout the afternoon. We're kind of in luck. You can see just south of the border in the Grand Forks area, the worst of the storm seemed to move south before it had a chance to roll through Winnipeg. But today we are talking about wildfire smoke, as you heard from John and Harrison earlier. Air quality statements were issued by Environment Canada earlier today for much of the province. As you can see, pretty much all of Manitoba, except for the western parts of like Brandon, etc. But if you zero in there, the Thompson area, Split Lake, South Indian Lake is under an air quality warning now. That is, of course, due to blanketing smoke in that region, and much of the province should see more smoke as we head into your Tuesday. But for now, it's pretty beautiful outside. It looks like the rain has stopped for now. 16 degrees under partially cloudy skies. You can see that hazy smoke. The wind out of the northeast at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure's dropping, and the humidity, Catherine, is at 87%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Thank you, Daniel. A 15-year-old boy has died after the dirt bike he was driving hit a deer. It happened Saturday night on a rural road southeast of Valley River. Dauphin RCMP say the boy had left his home on the dirt bike and was traveling on Road 114 West when he hit a deer and was thrown from his bike. Emergency medical services took the boy to hospital where he died from his injuries. RCMP say the boy was not wearing a helmet. Winnipeg police are searching for a teenage suspect after a man was seriously injured in a machete attack. Officers responded to the assault last Thursday outside a convenience store in the 1700 block of Portage Avenue. According to police, the victim was seriously injured by an unknown suspect armed with a machete. A passerby used a belt as a makeshift tourniquet to help the victim before emergency crews arrived. He was transported to hospital in stable condition. The suspect is described as a male between 15 and 17 years old, about 5'6" to 5 feet 10 inches tall, with a slim build, light complexion, and dark hair. He was last seen wearing a black Tupac t-shirt, ripped black jeans, and carrying a gray backpack. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. We have another potential measles exposure to tell you about. According to health officials, it's the Winkler Medical Clinic located on 1st Street between 12:45 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. on July 2nd. That was last Wednesday. Anyone who was there during that time is asked to monitor for symptoms for about the next 3 weeks and check their immunization records. As of June 28th, there have been 116 confirmed measles cases in Manitoba. The 176 people, including 85 Canadians and permanent residents who died on flight PS 752 in 2020, are being commemorated by a memorial here in Winnipeg. 5 years after the Ukraine International Airlines plane was shot down shortly after taking off in Iran, a memorial has been dedicated to the victims. The stone wall is inscribed with their names and surrounded by 8 trees, representing the victims who had made Winnipeg their home. Another 176 trees have been planted in the White Ridge Park in their honor. It stands in a park across the street from where 3 of the victims once lived. The Association of Families of Flight PS 752 victims say the memorial will act as a place of mourning, remembrance, and a statement of accountability.
not only just to safeguard the memories and the legacy of our loved ones, but also provide education, provide information to the larger public.
The association says it continues to work with the Canadian and other governments to find out the reason the plane was shot down. New data from Statistics Canada paints a clearer picture of the tightening housing market in Winnipeg. The report shows that single detached homes made up just over half of the city's housing stock in 2014. By 2024, that had dropped to under a quarter. At the same time, apartments went from making up 1/3 to 2/3 of all dwellings.
You're seeing much denser construction in the newer neighborhoods in Winnipeg, and you're also seeing a significant portion of that as larger scale apartment style multifamily.
StatsCan points out the city's new rules allowing higher density in mature neighborhoods and lower parking requirements for some developments will likely accelerate densification. A Manitoba dancer's dream of performing on an international stage has become a reality.
Yeah, I always dreamed about performing in front of thousands of people at night.
Alexa Case now does that in 2 shows 6 nights a week at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. She began dancing at Step in Time Studio in Brandon at the age of 3, later taking a pre-professional program in Toronto at 18. And last fall, she auditioned for the famed cabaret troupe, scoring a spot in their cast and making her debut in the Can-Can this past April. Case is one of 4 Canadians dancing with the cabaret.
Being here at the Moulin Rouge, it's an accomplishment that, I've dreamt about for a long time. And it's a really surreal feeling, getting to wear all these beautiful costumes.
For the young dancers who one day hope to follow in her footsteps, Case says don't let where you grew up limit your dreams and take every opportunity that presents itself, because you never know when your own moment will come. Still to come, the death toll from flash flooding in Texas climbs past 90.
I've lost near friends, best friends, my boss.
Questions swirl about whether more could have been done to prevent the tragedy. We'll have the latest just ahead. Taking a look at the markets, crude oil added 93 cents. The loonie slid to 73.23 cents U.S. Gold futures closed flat. The TSX made a small adjustment. The Dow Jones lost 422 points, and the Nasdaq also finished lower. An urgent search is underway for survivors in Texas after more than 90 people were killed in deadly flash flooding. Among them, dozens of children and their counselors at a Christian summer camp. CTV's Adrian Gabriel in the U.S. Capitol now on the tragedy and criticism being levied at Washington for the slow response to impending danger.
As the search for survivors intensifies, the full scale of this deadly disaster is coming into focus. This footage shares a glimpse of just some of the 850 life and death high water rescues that took place. Hundreds of state and federal first responders and more than a dozen K-9 units are on the ground, including volunteers on foot and horseback.
If it was my babies, I'd want somebody looking, so that's why I'm here.
Dozens of children have been confirmed dead, with another 10 campers and 1 counselor, as of this morning, still missing from Camp Mystic, a Christian girls' camp.
I've lost near friends, best friends, my boss, my godchildren, my house, my car.
The camp, perched along the Guadalupe River, saw floodwaters rise 8 meters in just 45 minutes. 2 hours north in Kingsland, Texas, this time-lapse shows just how quickly floodwaters rose.
You know that your child is going to be swimming and canoes and horseback riding and doing archery and making lifetime friends. And then suddenly it turns to tragedy.
With the National Weather Service saying their flood warnings were timely and accurate, questions about weather alerts reached those most at risk remain, with the mayor of Kerrville, Texas, admitting he never received one.
Everyone here, if we could have warned them, we would have done so. And we didn't even have a warning. We did not know.
The city manager of Kerrville asked today why an evacuation order wasn't issued.
It's very tough to make those calls because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf.
An answer that will bring little comfort to those who've lost so much.
With the U.S. president signing a major disaster declaration for Kerr County, Texas, Federal Emergency Management Agency resources have been deployed as ongoing discussions to close down FEMA are still taking place, according to a White House spokesperson today. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Washington.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is set to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Washington today to discuss a ceasefire deal to bring an end to the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
I think there's a good chance we have a deal with Hamas during the week.
Trump says Israel has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza and has warned Hamas to accept it. Hamas has expressed support for the framework of the deal, but says there are amendments they want to make before accepting. Under the current proposal, Hamas would release 10 living hostages in 2 phases, with Israel releasing Palestinian prisoners. Netanyahu has stated Israel's goal is to ensure the elimination of Hamas's military and governmental power. The meeting comes as Israeli and Hamas officials are holding indirect talks in Qatar for a second day. Netanyahu says the delegation has instructions to achieve a ceasefire under conditions which Israel has accepted. There are 50 remaining hostages in Gaza. However, less than half are believed to be alive. There was a memorial today to mark the 20th anniversary of the London transit bombings. It was the deadliest attack in London since Second World War.
Hope is optimism with a broken heart. In the face of tragedy, optimism fails, but hope presents itself as a survival tool.
52 people were killed and nearly 800 injured. 4 men inspired by al-Qaeda blew themselves up on 3 subway trains and a bus. Dignitaries led by King Charles laid wreaths at the Hyde Park Monument at 8:50 local time to mark the moment the first bomb exploded. An Australian woman has been convicted of killing 3 people. They were all relatives of her estranged husband. She served them poisonous mushrooms for lunch.
She was always guilty in my eyes, no matter what. 3 people get killed amid a lunch. It doesn't just happen like that.
Erin Patterson could face life in prison. Her in-laws and her husband's aunt died in 2023 after she served them beef Wellington containing death cap mushrooms. 6 countries are pulling out of an international treaty that bans the production and use of landmines. It's known as the Ottawa Treaty because Canada played an integral role in the formation of the treaty nearly 30 years ago. 6 European countries, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Ukraine, have all announced their intention to withdraw from the treaty this year. All 6 nations shared boundaries with Russian territories. The company behind Jersey Milk says the chocolate bars are being discontinued after more than 100 years in production. The company says the decision to drop the Jersey Milk bar is because of a drop in demand, but the company says there will be no job losses as a result. Manitoba added a gold medal to the province's football history on Sunday. Football Manitoba hosted the Under-18 Indigenous Cup at the St. Vital Mustangs field starting Thursday. Sunday was the final day for playoff games, determining who would take home the medals. Teams from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Northwestern Ontario competed. Manitoba faced off against Alberta in the gold medal match, and it was a close one. But in the end, Team Manitoba came out on top, capping off the weekend as champions.
What a fantastic ending to the tournament. The fact that it came down to last-second plays and laterals and big comebacks and all these things going on, it was so much fun, and I think everyone really enjoyed it.
Team Manitoba's Indigenous Cup roster included 27 players from about 4 different communities. Their jerseys featured the updated language to represent the communities, bands, and tribes that make up the team. If you've noticed prices are on the rise in your local meat aisle, you're not alone.
Prices have practically tripled for myself.
Still ahead, we'll look at some trends affecting the cost of common grocery items like beef, dairy, and vegetable oil.
And a little bit in the forecast a little bit of everything in the forecast this weekend, from sunny skies to the risk of thunderstorms. All of your full forecasts coming up.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
The cost of Alberta beef has gone up. A new global food index has been tracking climbing prices and trying to investigate why. CTV's Camille Karamali has more.
This Toronto butcher shop,
I'll send my friend,
bustling on this Sunday.
This is such a treat today.
A rare treat because meat for some has become a luxury.
Definitely meat is more.
Just listen to how much some of these meats,
That is something like oxtail,
have gone up in price.
Prices have practically tripled for myself.
The owner of this shop, Marlon Rosenbaum, feeling a bit raw about how much he's had to dish out for some cuts.
It's a tough time for small businesses. Everything costs more than it ever did before.
Meat, one of multiple items to see a price jump globally this month. The other items, vegetable oil and dairy. Meat now hitting an all-time high, up 2% since May, but rising more than 6% since last June. Vegetable oil also seeing a 2% increase since May, up 18% from last year. And although dairy only saw a 0.5% increase since May, it's jumped up 20% since this time last year.
We're seeing reduced production because there are fewer cows around. We've seen dry weather in North America in the last couple of years there's been less feed available.
Less feed available to raise cows not only puts the price of dairy on the rise, it means with a surging population, there's less to go around.
The world will be short 5 times Canada's national production by 2030, so that pressure will only increase.
But these global food prices don't always reflect Canadian food prices. Take vegetable oil, for example, surging in price globally, but in Canada, the cost has actually gone down.
We have excess supply of canola oil in this country, which is the predominant oil that we use.
All in all, people will still have to pay more for most foods.
So what gives you hope to keep going? I think just trying to keep in mind that good quality meat is something that there will always be a demand for.
Hoping that for these customers, locally sourced meat will still be a cut above the rest. Camille Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
It's a tough story for you, Daniel. You just got a new barbecue.
Right. I'm a little worried about those prices.
Your wallet's hurting. What about the weather, Daniel? Is it barbecuing weather tonight, or are we staying inside?
Well, I'm still going to risk it because I want to fire up the new barbecue, of course, but could see a couple more showers roll through Winnipeg through the evening. We have been watching this storm kind of roll through the southern part of the province for most of the afternoon. It seems it went a little further south into the States and missed us for the most part. But yeah, a few sprinkles here and there as we move through the evening. Now, there is that air quality warning, of course, in effect for Thompson and that surrounding area. That's due to wildfire smoke in the rest of the province, with the exception of some parts in the west, like Brandon, are under an air quality statement. That's been the case for pretty much all day. Now, over the next few hours, as I mentioned, we could see a few showers, but overall clearing overnight here in Manitoba. Our friends just over the border in Ontario could see a few more showers as the night progresses. Overnight, relatively clear throughout much of Manitoba. A little bit of activity up there towards Churchill as we head into Tuesday. Fairly clear in the south as well, though we should see that smoke kick around for at least another day. As we head into Wednesday, much of the same, fairly clear skies throughout Manitoba. And yeah, heading through that day, getting used to the clicker here. Tonight here in Winnipeg, dipping down to 13 degrees, clearing overnight, though that smoke will persist with the winds coming out of the north. Tomorrow morning, as you're waking up, a mix of sun and clouds, 17 degrees, winds coming out of the northwest. Tomorrow afternoon, hot, 25 degrees, going to feel closer to 30. Mainly sunny skies with some local smoke. Those winds staying nice and light. Tonight here around Manitoba, as you look in Churchill, 14 degrees, Thompson, which we've heard with that wildfire air quality warning, 13 tonight, getting up to 21 tomorrow. Under cloudy and smoky skies. In the northwest, Flin Flon, 16 degrees tonight, similar in Lynn Lake, highs at 27 throughout that region. Tomorrow, or actually tonight, in Brandon and the West Manitoba region, some cold temperatures, 7 degrees in Dauphin, but heating up to 25 under partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Tonight here in Winnipeg, as I mentioned, 13, similar around the rest of the region, but hot, sunny skies tomorrow in the mid-20s. Just over the border, rain tonight, but 25 degrees tomorrow in Ontario. So beautiful day here in Winnipeg, at least. Our first weather photo comes from Terreley up in Split Lake. You can see northern lights, that fire in the distance, absolutely stunning photo. And our second one comes from Peg out in Springfield. That's her horse, Paul. Just enjoying a beautiful afternoon. Send those photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Daniel. 2 local junior athletes took their talents to the national stage this weekend.
5-1-3-2-D.
That's Gabriel Brombach and Mila Mortilli. They both competed Sunday at the 2025 Speedo Junior Development Nationals that was held at the Pan Am Pool. Both are considered among the top junior divers in Canada. The competition kicked off early in the morning. While neither made the podium this time, they say they will continue their journey.
Just be more focused on my dives and just not thinking about the bad ones I did over and over again, because that gives me a bad mood for the other dives, so it just gets worse and worse.
Both Brombach and Mortilli will now head to the Canada Summer Games in August, representing Team Manitoba in St. John's. Still ahead, you either got it or you don't. What makes a person cool? It doesn't matter where you are on Earth. Researchers say they share the same 6 traits. We'll explain just ahead. How women perceive their social status could have a bearing on their heart health. It may seem strange, but it's one of the takeaways of a new Canadian study, and it adds to growing evidence that social and psychological factors can uniquely affect women's cardiovascular risks. Joining me now to share more about this fascinating link is Dr. Judy Liu, a clinician scientist at the Research Institute of the McGill University Health Center and a co-lead author of the study. Dr. Liu, thanks so much for being with us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, let's start off by talking about this study. What did you set out to find, and what did the study entail?
Absolutely. So we know that heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, but the tools that we use to assess this risk often doesn't take into account this full picture. So especially things like your social and emotional factors. So things like income, education, and how supported someone feels can all impact heart health. And in our study, we were really interested in one question. So does how someone feel about their place in society, so what we call subjective social status, does this relate to early signs of heart stress? And does that differ between men and women? So in our study, we looked at over 400 people, and we asked them to rate their own social standing on a simple 10-point ladder. And then we used MRI to look for very early changes in the heart muscle. And we looked for signs of inflammation that can show up well before someone has symptoms or before they can get diagnosed with heart disease.
And Dr. Liu, what did the data reveal?
So what we found was pretty striking. We found that for women, those who saw themselves as lower on the social ladder showed actually more early signs of potential heart inflammation. And this held true even after we accounted for things like income, education, and actually all those things when we accounted for things like income and education, which was the same when compared to male. And for men, actually, that connection wasn't true. Their self-perception didn't seem to have the same impact on their heart. Sorry about that.
Very interesting. So are there any theories to explain these findings? Do you have any ideas as to why this could differ so greatly?
We actually have a couple theories. The first is that this kind of self-rated status might actually reflect women's lived experiences more accurately than things like income or their job title. So even, for example, if a woman is well educated, she might still feel those social pressures, discrimination, or feel undervalued, and that can affect how she sees her place in society. The other theory, which we hypothesize is probably the bigger one, is that women may be more biologically sensitive to the effects of stress. We know from other studies done before us that women tend to have a stronger stress-related inflammatory response due to everyday stressors, worries, etc. And this could really be explaining the changes that we're seeing in the heart in a woman compared to a man.
As you mentioned, 1 in 3 women in North America do die from heart disease, yet women are less likely to receive important cardiac interventions. And you say this highlights the need to rethink how we assess cardiovascular risk in women. So could this data be a step towards that?
100%. So right now, most heart risk scores that are done in a family doctor's office or a specialist office are based on things like your cholesterol levels, blood pressure, diabetes status, etc. But for women, those numbers might not tell the whole story. And what our study really shows is that stress and social pressures and how a woman feels in her everyday life might already be affecting her heart even before there are symptoms or development of heart disease. So yes, I think this is a major step towards rethinking how we assess and how we care for women's heart health. We need to start including mental wellness and social context in our everyday conversations when a woman goes sees her specialist.
So what's next for this research? Does this open the door for more study?
Yes, so absolutely. We're planning to follow these participants over a longer period of time to see how these heart changes can actually predict who will develop heart disease later on, so things like heart attacks, strokes, etc. We're also really interested in whether improving these social supports or reducing the stress level, could it actually reverse or prevent these changes that we're seeing in the heart on our MRI. And so our overall goal going forward is to really have better earlier detection, more personalized care, and importantly, better prevention, especially for women and, importantly, women and their families. So we want to make sure that women who are often underdiagnosed and undertreated when it comes to heart disease really get brought to the forefront.
All right, we will leave it there. Really interesting stuff. Dr. Liu, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you're thinking about starting weight training, you may want to consider which method suits you best. Experts say if you're new, weight machines are the least intimidating option, because they offer stability and a fixed pattern of movement. Weight machines also isolate muscles and don't need a lot of technique or skill. If you're relatively healthy, free weights like dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, and medicine balls are a more versatile option. For a more portable option to build muscle, improve flexibility and balance, try resistance bands or tubes. They come in a variety of sizes and resistance levels. They are inexpensive and don't require a gym membership. Finally, body weight resistance exercises like push-ups, pull-ups, planks, and lunges can provide a good workout with no equipment. An international team of researchers say they figured out what makes a person cool. Yes, you heard that right. The study published this week in the Journal of Experimental Psychology says the personality traits that make someone cool appear to be consistent all around the world. The study involved nearly 6,000 people across a dozen countries and found those considered cool are perceived to be more extroverted, hedonistic, powerful, adventurous, open, and autonomous. And the other universal things researchers discovered is that these cool traits are something you either have or you don't have. They can't be taught.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
We're used to doing all kinds of zany projects like this, trying to beautify the world.
Keep your eyes peeled. Art exhibits are popping up around Winnipeg, including some you can take part in. We'll explain next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Night Ranger.
Well, the Royal Winnipeg Ballet is getting ready for yet another season. They've begun rehearsing for Ballet in the Park, which has become a summer tradition for the RWB. It's a free show at the Lyric Theatre in Assiniboine Park. The RWB's new artistic director, Christopher Stowell, will guide you through the performances. He'll offer you some behind-the-scenes insight and share his vision for the company.
I would love Winnipeggers to come across the RWB in public spaces and for us to perform in big theaters like the concert hall, but also smaller venues where it's a lot more intimate and have conversations between the artists and the audience, and just to have a real arc for the experiences possible with the RWB.
Ballet in the Park runs July 23rd to the 25th with performances starting at 7:30 each evening. And creative art installations are coming back for the summer all over Winnipeg. It's all part of Cool Gardens 2025. Storefront Manitoba launched the annual design competition in public showing on Saturday, featuring local, national, and international artists. 5 designs were selected by a jury, and 4 installations were invited to participate. One of the 9 designs is something we could all use on a hot summer day.
We've got a recombinant bike that's been manufactured to power a giant fan, essentially. It looks like a hamster wheel, but it's actually a way to cool off in the summer.
Now, this giant fan entitled Anything for a Breeze is going to be on Graham Avenue to obviously help some people cool down from the summer heat. You can check out the other installations in places like Assiniboine Park, Osbourne Village, and the Forks. The exhibition runs until September. And rock legend Ozzy Osbourne has performed what he says is his final live show. The 76-year-old heavy metal icon reunited with his Black Sabbath bandmates for the first time in 20 years in front of 40,000 fans. The show took place back where it all started for Black Sabbath in Birmingham, England. Osbourne has struggled with walking after being diagnosed with Parkinson's and sang aptly from a black throne. All proceeds from the show went to charity. And shake off those Monday blues with American Ninja Warrior at 7, followed by The Rookie. And E-Talk wraps up the night at 10:30. It's all right here on CTV.
The church is just the physical where they met. The important part was the people who came to it.
150 years of memories and faith. How one rural community is marking a major milestone for their historic church. When we return.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
16 degrees outside right now, some raining falling here in Winnipeg with the wind coming out of the northeast at 14 kilometers per hour. And we hit 20 degrees today, a little lower than our seasonal average, but check out that record back in 1936, 41.1 degrees. Now, we're not going to hit that this week, but we are expecting to see some really nice temperatures as we move midweek with Folk Fest on the weekend.
Thanks, Daniel. A historic Manitoba church marked a major milestone over the weekend. The Grasmere Church in the RM of Rockwood is now 150 years old. And on Saturday, the community paid tribute with a day of festivities, food, and memories. CTV photojournalist Daniel Timmerman was there.
The congregation was formed 150 years ago, and that's a lot of history.
It was a very small congregation, always supportive of each other, and we felt we needed to get together for this special occasion.
Thanks so much for coming.
The Grasmere picnic at that time was a big deal, and you looked forward to it.
I want to go over there and do that.
This is a real good occasion for everyone to come home now and see each other again.
To hear the interest in this event showed the connection of the community to this space.
But the church is just the physical where they met. The important part was the people who came to it.
We all came to church. We were all farming families. We all had our pew.
Would you like a piece? Yeah.
One of the traditions we couldn't do without was our pie. Many of our committee members made mini pies so that we would be able to give pie for dessert tonight.
They all worked their little souls out to make this community work, and we decided we had to continue.
The history of the community connection is so strong and so important.
This community has meant a lot to the people who have lived here.
Did you see that? They had an official Grasmere pie shelf.
I know.
We need one for the newsroom.
We could use a little pie.
Yes, I'll get to baking, but we need other people to keep the pipeline going with
Make
pie.
some of those more lemon squares.
I will, yes. I'm very inspired by the Grasmere community there. It looks delicious. Alrighty, remember you can watch CTV News anytime on our website. Don't forget to join John Hendricks for CTV News at 11:30. Good.